Okay, today is April the 1st, 2021, and this is about 18 past 19 at my mark here, which remaining for this judgment of ZAHAV, what this we have finished. Buenos Aires, I received this from what is this, that I was used structurally, improperly, profoundly, and inhumanly, taken from Argentina, which they would charge me and also for the whole rich match, as much the same the truth that they are doing on over top secret Argentina, over summer secret Argentina, and state of states, sorry, of Argentina, will be the liars by me, because nobody will ever have to know except who they will want to know, and while what nobody will know, what they says nobody have to know, they goes to kill, predate, destroying, and ruining other states, and murdering and massacring other societies to taking place to think that they have right. Then everything centralized in a very weird way. The way I said, they are the ones that knows, and they are the power. They says what it is here in Argentina, which is not here where I'm found, but they says here whatever the hell they want, which they would have rights to take and sing the poems for them. The supremacy of sickness, ancestral figures, masons, diablos. And then the reality for this is exactly a focus over. I will be dispossessed from to be the person I am, from my body, my being, and I will be the prototype of the perfect future of evangelicals, victims of art, and Argentinians in Kirchner's, which cannot use that name. They made gentle age, they murdered the Kirchner family, and they taken place. For the Kirchner's families were known all over the United Nations, human rights, Amnesty International, World Health Organization, and international courts circuit. And they were handling the international law, not the law of the state. The law above the law of the state, but the International Criminal Code and International Code of Justice. And they were killed people, and they are. And they were murdered by the one that presumed to be Christina Kirchner and Esau Kirchner and family. And misappropriated them lives and them like that. It's like have done to a lot of other people that we've been working and keeping them disgusting seats and putting them in the hell. Because of they goes to massacring, to killing, genociding for they things that they can take in various lives, to so providing them fulfillment. Das misem, sick abominables. And them delusional bodies that they says that they can still judge mentally, declare me insane. Or schizo. And the whole of the sickness of the degenerados evangelicals that they said that they can say. And that will be official because of the bull powers. And they are more delusional than the sick that has a psychiatric forensic title or any associated to saying that whatever the hell they wants to say. But they goes to suppress, destroy, ruin, and getting sick to people for their irrelevance. And they have the top. But further of this, which the reality is so weird, for everything was centralized about my person. The whole that they do and they says, and they the liars and determinates here Argentina, the whole that they the liars that got to be, but the problem is that here Argentina they go to everywhere saying this is what we say. And who says not gets in the middle of the way to kill, destroy, or internate. Psychiatric. Like I've been doing all the time, but everything's centralized about my person, and I will be the killed part, and I will be the problem. But the reality of the simplicity is, if I am a nobody, if I am a non-recognizable, if I am a one that doesn't have nothing which something to consider, why the struggle and why that intense activity forwarding, cover and disfigurate and lie, and whatever I say, they turns around whatever taken on light and remaking and reinventing and disfigurating and disvirtuing and all the liars, and keeps on making the same time shit at the background and at the field and the canvas that I recognize and I show. Then the reality for this, that's too much work about my person for it to be just alone, at least the way I said, one autistic. And they says they know. But the reality of my figure it out over my reactions and my going through and moving, more than a delusional schizoid and delirious, it's an autistic person. Over the profiling, if someone has a little place, over the up-depthless, so they're watching through what it means exactly, one little sharp over what it means a psychiatric or neurological problem about a person over its behavior. I look autistic. And also theoretic. I come with and like the prostitutes of the care of down with prevention, but government of the zero service, which are all the same victims of art. All the same plan, the same organization, the same damn health shit. Like the DAIC, Diablo of the Guarda, Policía de la Ciudad. Y Moneda. Put it by evangelicals and Kirchners, which are not Kirchners, are Streichsdecken. And that is the real surname. Nazis, and from Nazis previous to all they were, mummies. And further that, the reality forwarding was this situation, on the focus for what it means and what do we do. If I am the view of the whole that they can do and say, and invent, and also with the sickness of the plumsters, SEHLÁ, for the heal as quickly are the supposed miracles of evangelicals and punishment of God. And the plague COVID-19 over supposed plague. But then the punishment of the supposed plague. That they deliberately published also all over the house and governmentally, they said governmentally, at the United Nations, who and governmentally all over, for the people to know that they were the superior supreme and they would punish everybody, and they had the plagues with evangelicals to punish the humanity because of they did not touch it, they didn't submit for whatever they want. And it's exactly what they published, and I'm going to publish this after this video, as well with the whole, that they've done, which I've just ripped out, the equipments, and then equips, servers, computers, cell phones, storage units, backups, clouds, and mosquitoes, Nazis, swastiks, flying saucers, and the whole that they cut in there. And forwarding this reality, I've found so much like I know and always were congruential to identify them and say who they are and what they do from first to last. But I will make cyber harassment also with this because I will be offended. And they will forbid them because of they think that they are YouTube and they think that they are raw and they think that they can say something. Especially for there is a justice to declare, but denounces too much in the liar, so it's a psychiatric situation, nothing to hear. But they think that they can take the corporations and take the control of the whole of the information communications and that in my life and anybody else. The sober, I just say the truth and I denounce for the real to be known and the truth to be shown. And they think that they can say and that they can annul and that they can deliver this into supposed justice for Argentina and UNASUR to manage. And are all a bunch of deplacias, delincuentes baratos, terroristas criminales de cuarta, and those changes, especially the ones that comes to regulate the communications hubs over cyber harassment. I'm gonna cyber your disgusting death, and I'm gonna put you under arrestment of death. Creídos de YouTube y Google Argentina, te voy a romper en pedazos y vas a hacer no haber tocado nada mío, ni de nadie, ni haber dicho la mierda que decís. And in the middle of this all, a propósito, vómitos of vos, si te pones. Y es lo único que vas a hacer. Y tus amiguitos, ver industria de cama, metete la cama donde te quepa el filter en tu malnacido cerebro y fíjate que se licúe lo suficiente como diarrea y te recuerde que la cama es lo que vos das con tus orificios para que los médicos argentinos tengan lo mejor que les podés dar y para que te den lugarcito y medallas. Y vida ajena que te pensás que vas a tener para gloriarte, para tener lo que se te canta. Degenerados. I'm sorry for this. And in the middle of this reality, my cyber harassment came so propitious for the making exactly one best ever way, for I will be guilty of pedophilia. And we're disappearing a lot of kids, and one were in the scene for the screens all over, and when one hard border that didn't have nothing to do, and the kid disappeared for we recovered for the reality to rescue its family and her from murder. Because of this what they do. And pedophilia, because of this what they do. And the reality is that they were about to making a very procedure to surround me because of I will be terror, chop them up, and knowing too much previous that whatever they do, and that would be criminal, and I would sleep like Capone, and they would seek the way to getting inside my house with whatever shit, like the picture of Al Capone, for the putting me under arrest because of nothing else would ever work, and comes with such a shit to me. And I would lie, and I would have to say because of wouldn't be my person, my life, which they treat, but were inside the place that I live in, which I've just left behind to the putting proof about what it was, and I have the proof and shown who they are and what they do. And then YouTube Argentina, which is not YouTube and not Google, never was and won't be. And then the reality for this, regulation of this artifact of degenerados and criminales psicópatas de guarda, which is what they are. As the reference for this soul came to happen a lot of other things. And between those all other things is that they still are making up in a class of attempt discussing the generations of me and putting some reproduced faces and supposedly will be my delusional character as well, my deliverance. I couldn't prove they hide so well, but I've discovered all of them. They hide them as well. And the reality for this is in the middle of the whole of the situations were not just my person, were a lot of other persons, other that implicances that they produces and reproduces and makes. Like everybody's ruining and destroying people, for they will commit with reproduced faces, and this is not a lie. And I am not covering myself with nobody. To making the whole abominations for them to make business and misappropriation and business of life's market, and made to me with the prototype of the perfect future. They cloned me. And they sold my body and the perfect future to the degenerados. And they thought that they would make me so much worse, and that I would rob them by making justice and taking the whole of the damn shit that they done to me and others, to putting the right orders and putting them in hell. Because of they will be the only endorsement for supposed official and for supposed authorities and third of God. And the whole of the damn shit that they will put about those pretending to be authorities of God because of us a problem, and supposedly would be a crime to touch them because of there would be anointment. And every degenerado de cuarta, sodomita perro, gomorrita perra, y delincuente barato con título de psiquiatra y querido de juez, y querido de prosecutor, fiscal. To make the best job to match everything because of that will be respect in Argentinian placement and can be treated with respect. Every pedazo de degenerado de cuarta, mierdas enfermas, enfiebradas, which is what they are, so and that's to say that nothing has place than treatable and nothing to accept, not even once you just treat the respect and speak the truth. And especially once you prove it, there's nothing accepted because of only them. Degenerados abominables delincuentes de guarda with a badge, a weapon and a title for making the abominations of them business, are the ones approved for them to show but won't be ever shown. And them associations are exactly equal, especially evangelical. Then at the reality for this, what do? I kill them and I proceed. And it's the best ever to do, and this is what must be done. Then at the reality for this is exactly, I'm working with justice and they are aware. I am working since so long ago with international courts, the real, legitimate ones, and they want to kill for the replacing and saying, he's gonna found, he cheated himself, and he thinks that it's gonna be alright, that he's gonna found us, and we're gonna wondering what to he do now, who are you? He's a liar. to killing your honors and to killing them families and everything in same position. And not only to them, to the state. And everyone related with me, and there's too much activity about my person. And I have intruders in my place, and I have a family which is not my family, putting apart victims, which they dare to make the complementation for this shit. And I am suffering damages, and I'm suffering torture. And not only me, a lot of other people have been suffering these consequences. And they think they are right, and they think that gotta be respected. And that this will be crime, criminal, and wrong, and offensive, and misappropriated because of couldn't be public, because of makes attempts, it's also because of I will be an insane to protect and defend from what's supposed to be labors and insane activities that would put me in risk and danger. And there's to make that then sickness and continue. And now the reality for. I've been so long with this, they've been destroying and devastating that much. Who's gonna say now after all that they've murdered? And they've disfigured it. And made enough, step in another day, and another to make mess. The sickness of business they have so many and never themselves. Name myself. SHO'ANEV. And not only me. They recognize who I am. And they understand the reality of this. Then at the focus of this soul in this states, we proceed with making exactly what the rights have to be done. And at the rights have to be done is exactly they think that everything will be suppressed and secluded and attached about whatever they say because of their reason in somewhere. Then at the reality for this is exactly that I've been watching so much and each thing and all until I will see. And then the reality for this is exactly we've ended with a very misappropriation of lives and lives market called COVID-19. And the COVID-19 being birthed for they concerns to be supremes and they SEHLÁ. What you, F word, means sex, but it's not for the having sex, will be rape. You obtain, you get, you keep. Sodom and Gomorrah, armies of the government of the world, entire empires, the Chantoriano fierceness, not fierceness, and Machercos United, and the whole of the generation Argentina, victims apart, ancestors, nations, and the whole of the greed, cría de dos victims apart. Then the reality of this comes about one singular reality that were 387 microorganisms previous to this, saying that it was plagues, bug-eyed, pork-them. The another reality of the soul is exactly one singular reality as well, forwarding what this deservedly comes to be, that the COVID has died where I've just put it. And where exactly from the vagina of a rapist, sick prostitute of Ejército Argentina. That making a practice for what they call by the Argentinian school of formation methods and specials and glorious elite. The rape of a very alpha dog with Viagra and with the whole of the diet and with the whole of the reference and sacrificial for that obtain what they keeps. From that being alpha of three, supposedly. And that is from Hamunaptra, practiced from them ancestors, ancient Egypt, and from Babylon, Atmuradut, were called, and we have more than what the words show. And the reality of this is exactly commandment of Luciano Doriano, and they said, yes, master. And that dog, which that prostitute, abominable freak, abominable, like every one of them, victims of what we did already long ago, contracted the reality forwarding and couldn't make nothing less but came in contact but harvest virus. And they are really being all tested for the sustained and support of them practice and special science free or them Argentinian science in practice. And they goes to gene tested. And this one acquired virus and in the ambient dog vagina family that recognizes mutated it. And they went because of had flusters all over mucosas and pus, and didn't heal for the whole of the treating, but the rest all were just healing. And we're just finding no one had no problem and saying we are immunoresistant, we came with this and this is power. Like always have done in this class of attempt shit. And the purpose of this what? They went to China to blame China for whatever and they set customs over weird animals that are not comestibles and of course the procedures that they just has no care. And went to prove it. Delivered into after push and threatening everybody to giving everybody if they wouldn't accept. Into a laboratory, remutated it, and poured death, threatening everybody, and murdered millions of them. And what the significance of that is exactly which is a different, but what it vectors to say, threatening everybody. The GOV.IL is exactly mutated twice, virus, parvus, like any dog or any cat can have, affecting the human in a very immunoresistance, which is impossible, and makes destruction on the brain, makes destruction on myelina and on the complete of the neural system, and makes flusters all over mucosas, the whole glass, including inside, internal to organs, viscerally, and separates even bad eyes, pus, non-stopping, and the person used to falling, the one contact, falling in the streets, trembling like epileptic, forwarding this destruction in the brain and the complete of the neural status. And forwarding this class of a situation, there were a lot of people with too much panic because of this what they've seen and they've sent from China to all over for everybody to be warned. And what really was happening and what was that whole thing. That they didn't have nothing to do and they've explained and were under threatening to killing everybody. And forwarding this reality were Ejército Argentino, Armada Argentina, UNASUR, and the call, because of they thought that they called Kirchner. And it's no lie. And we've stopped that there, we've rescued the complete of the victims, and we said no more. And they started pouring for about, no lie, 96 million, corrected, 96,804,620 different microviruses, saying COVID and everything's COVID. Lie. COVID-19 were by the WHO, expressly that microorganism like any other, that's a distinguishment over one spelled name to recognize what is. It's not a whole, it's that. Whatever associates or not is another story. That is the microorganism. Parvus virus modified for weapon, bioweapon, terrorism making against humankind. But this the generals. And then the reality was that they started to making life market over threatening everybody, to killing everybody and everybody to attach because of that would be massacres all over. And they started reporting all over, saying co-virus there, co-virus there, co-virus there, co-virus, co-virus, rescuing the best of the significance for them markets and them best, and sent kidnapping people to kill, destroying, misappropriating, taking them identities intrepidly like Nazis have been done in the Second World War, and getting all over the places saying it's us, who are you seeking for? We are not, but the same that always have been here. And the training about the school of Argentina evangelicals, that they will show that is a warranty that David Harrison describes and speaks with a very intra-IPNTNC bio. But one Sweden man, specialized in hypoacoustics for the people that is deaf, that cannot speak. One intrapharynx device over making a valve with the possibility for the person to modulate a voice. Without confusion and clear, they robbed that almost murdering that engineer that specialized over what this bioorthopathy will introduce in hearing and making patterns over voices to hear similar and like equal. And it's so slim, it's so delicate, it's so special device. Nanotechnology and works amazingly, and it's something which is extraordinary, but is so dangerous as well for what you see there. And this is not a lying and liars either. And I am not talking about no springs over impossible mission that I can do perfectly well as well, but I don't. I rather to deliver the healing to the person can hear and to can making what a normal reality as any other person, which we can do. And the reality for this is exactly some normal accent forwarding this Diablos starts to twisting the whole of the stories over, oh, because of him denounced and he spoke and he knows the best. It was him. He'd fallen like the fish by the mouth. And this is cut them show, pedazo de degenerados, and starts to continue to make this. And forwarding this, they get all over and murders and massacres and everything's alright because they will have the number. They are the secret societies of nations. Whether over without nobody to recognize them, whether to personalize that or never get solved with non-gift, or at least to get corrupted and servant or slave or whatever the best thing is, which they do. Then the reality for this de quedad clefamias, desgeplefeneres, pedazo de degenerados, starts to keep on insulting and saying that everything is just acceptable for whatever they want to do. Because of they will make us know that nobody offends them, nobody with them. But they can, everybody, sorry my terms, forgive the misappropriation. Then the reality for this, on the focus for what this reality to express about what this is happening, they are day and night attempting me and making all class of abominations, calling me the Argentinian power, and calling me the whole that they have seen the best ever masturbations on my photo, for they will become about them ancestors, and them best ever careers over Luciano Proviano will tell them that they will come, saving my body, and trying to taking some organ of mine to show that it will be them the whole I am and the whole I do. Over, they will tag me on threatening up for them making massacres and murders if I will touch what they makes them anyway. So I kill them and I continue. This is the best ever to do. Then the condition of this is exactly they need to making the supreme above everybody and everything and controlling and managing the complete of the natures. Because of they things that they are at the orders for wording everybody will ever have to submit because of becomes in a range of maricas and dark. The other guarda. And it's exactly what they invest in. And it's exactly who they are. But the problems that are too dangerous, sorry for my terms, and the reality is that I'm gonna put them in hell. But during this, on the process, it's way too dedicated because of there are too much people on the right line for that. Because of they challenges me. And this is not a lie. And it's published and they cease it. They're published as well. And they know I am real. That's the reason why they influence that much. So they're making the overwhelming work for the showing whatever they need to show. Or making up any place of the shit or healing or destroying or ruining or putting like a corruption piece or suppressing until the breath of death with nothing else to say but I cannot even raise a finger for I don't know if I can really find out that I have a purpose for. And they continue and they are right. Like any hell animal which they are. That the reality of this, YouTube, Argentina, que no sos YouTube, pedazo de degenerado, borrate de mi camino porque te arranco la cabeza, is exactly that they think that they can tag me for whatever as much will handle a state about other states and international court. I have nothing to do with that. And I mess in things that I should never mess because of wouldn't be my business, my own life and existences, and everybody else is not my responsibility. And they think I got to hear that shit. Or any of you. Get it? Now, the GOV.IL is exactly one market of lives that Argentina becomes apart with the whole of the nations, the generados, Kirchners, which are not Kirchners, and the whole of the associated and the whole of the maps of Argentina, with them Telecos United, Ejército Argentino, Armada Argentina, Fuerzas Armadas Argentinas, and the whole of the them shit with them have made for the making some succeed and taking some shares around, killing and destroying and remaining like they have strikes because of they will be the world made. Being the shit they are, and nobody will tell them that. But I do. And I'm going to make more than that. And then I will be a threat. But the problem is that I am the one that they know, so the threat is them. And I'm going to make them know that as well. Ever after so. Now the reality for In the middle of what this is accepted to consider is what we have to understand that doesn't has no remedy, and the realities are so much fragileness, and they produce weakness, vulnerability, and they produce confusion, and they produce a very weight of desperation and so much agony that is difficult to manage for the best ever organization of predators of the whole of the magnitude of abominables with no class of boundaries for nothing except taking the natural and the supremacy. And that is our problem, reason why we have to understand what is the natures to perceive what must be. That's the problem. All right, I'm sorry for the soul, and COVID is exactly over. And the whole that they've been doing, they are gonna eat. And with shit ever after. I'm sorry, my friends. Everybody. Okay. I'm so sorry. Forgive me, please. I already am past that. So long ago, when I am with so much rage and I am with so much I need them to die, and I'm gonna make the possibility for sinking them downer than any other and so deeper than the hell itself can provide them. Clearly now. I'm sorry for my friends. Forgive me, please. All right. And at this day, yeah, okay, with your majesty, says me, I really don't feel a mood after this real piece of reality that we are transiting and we have been suffering for years. And it's historical and it's true from first to last. And so there are references for the problem, and I am not feeling really nice and really fine out. So I apologize, I ask you to forgive me for this state of mind, for I am not exalted, I am angry and I need to kill them. It will be a pleasure to make such a thing. And I'm sorry for the soul, forgive me, your majesty, ZAHAV. I'm sorry. Prime Ministers, Mr. President, your honors, Mrs. Presidents, First Ladies, First Gentlemen of the Houses, people, justice bodies, I'm so sorry for this all. I'm sorry, your majesties, I'm sorry for all of the references, and really I am so saturated and so tired and work so much, which is inevitable to me to get it this way. Once I come like a very retaking the reconscience back over what this all is and they've done to me and they've done to everybody, it's inevitable. Forgive me. I'm sorry, KADOISH. I'm sorry, your honors. I'm sorry, your majesties. And I'm gonna try to keep that, and I'm not feeling on the right mood. And I have a situation still around, and it's exactly so that so sick everything. I'm really coming so tired over everything in a way that is inevitable not to come in a download, a GOV.IL, to telling no more, and the no more is exactly the line of disaster between chaos and between a war. And it's exactly what they propose every day in this moment. All right. Forgive me, please, and I promise you I'm gonna do my best and I'm gonna do my job. You wanted to hear you a song a cappella. I do not listen to nobody. I do not care for nobody. You wanted to listen a song of a cappella of Whitney Houston. You wanted to hear it. You wanted to take a moment for this. You wanted to listen it from me. And I have a similar situation, which is difficult to tell Steve. So, I'm so sorry. But let's make it. I tried. I tried to do this. I've been waiting such a long time. I begin again, I'm sorry. I felt my best of hearing. Exactly, I'm not gonna have the chat on this. It's getting back on that. Okay. And I am really raging. for 2 minutes. I've been waiting such a long time for a love that's real to come my way. Gonna take some getting used to. Now that love awaits to stay. The chorus and the music with the building are right there. After we make love, I'll be lost in the afterglow. I just can't let the feeling go. There's no doubt in my mind I've been touched by all that heaven and earth will allow. All that matters is right there right now. Now the world is filled with a wonder. You turn my life around in just one day. I love us and you put me under. With just one kiss, you take my breath away. Feels so good to be lost in the afterglow. I just can't let the feeling go. There's no doubt in my mind I've been touched by all that heaven and earth will allow. All that matters is right there and now. Those lonely days and nights, what words will call with them? I'm so glad I never gave my heart away. I've been waiting all my life so I can give it all to you. I've been waiting such a long time for a love that's real to come my way. gonna take time getting used to now that love fades to stay. Feels so good to be lost in the afterglow. I just can't let that feeling go. There's no doubt in my mind I've been touched by all that heaven and earth will allow. All that matters is right there and now. All that matters is right here and now. I'm so sorry for everything. I'm sorry for what was happening. I'm sorry. Still, I'm just saying, one that the time is happening. I'm still watching for the things. Okay, you want to say which were published as well, were published and shown in evidence everything with things public. I'm so sorry, and I'm sorry for that. Alright, just a little bit more here for your testing stuff. Previous. Yeah, oh, there's not here, so I know. Not much a boy, a blowing soup, no hash, no one's living, no one love by its not I'm sure my clinics no problem. No, but it's not. I mean, when I'm with the same with everything. I am with things. So, I'm from zero like my whatever starts you want, whatever starts. I'm from zero like. Alright. You want to forever. That'll give my heart and I love you forever and ever. Oh, baby, together, for only big heartbreak for me. Please love me too. Oh, baby, this is my prayer. I wish you listen to my prayer, baby. You know what this is my prayer. It's my prayer, baby. Oh, baby, you know that forever and ever, will love you forever and ever. Together, for living heartbreak for me. Nobody but me. My darling, believe me. For me there is no one but you. Please love me too. This is my prayer. Oh, this is my prayer. I need you love me too. This is my prayer. Oh yeah, I'm in love with you. Oh, it's all my prayer, baby. You know I really love you. So if this is my prayer, baby. Ah, I'm sorry. Embarrassing, so bizarre. Anyway. Oh, und test stuff at my pockets.